Hey guys, we're moving on to something new. Okay. Okay, radical equations. Or remember, radical is kind of another name for square roots. Okay, so I guess it's somebody just made up a word that was shorter. So instead of saying square root equations, which I could say that, the shortcut word is radical. So when I hear radical x or square root x, I mean it means the same thing. I guess radical is just a little shorter. Okay. Now let's go back to something that we have kind of understood before. If I have x squared and I'm trying to solve for x, remember guys, anytime we do an equation, if I want to solve for that equation, I do the inverse, the opposite. So like if I had 2x, 2 times x equals 4, then I divided both sides by 2, right? Just back in Algebra 1. Whatever you have, you do the inverse, and that's how you solve an equation. So same idea. If I have a square and I wanted to solve for x, I wanted to find out what x is, I would do the inverse of square. Now again, if you had your calculator in front of you, I would tell you to look at the calculator. But the opposite of square, remember we hit that the blue button, the second blue button, and square. What you get, the opposite of square is square root. The opposite of square is square root, and that cancels. And then whatever we do to one side, we do the other. So square root 9, and we know, okay, square root of 9 would be 3. Positive 3 and negative 3, okay. We got into that before, remember, because there's two answers. So there was positive and negative 3. Remember how we did that, plus and minus? Okay, so that was something we did in the past. But now this is what we're solving. So we're solving equations that already have the square root in it, or the radical equations that already have a radical in it, a square root in it. So if the opposite of square is square root, then if I want to cancel, again, I'm trying to cancel and get x by itself, I've got to cancel the square root. So the inverse of square root is taking a square, taking that radical x and squaring it, and again, that cancels, just like when we cross out things. Okay, it cancels. So square root and square cancel, so x comes down. So remember, whatever I do to one side, I've got to do the same to the other. Okay, so it's 9 squared, which remember, 9 squared is not 9 times 2. It's not 9 times 2. It's 9 twice. Which remember, so 9 squared, remember, is 9 times 9. Remember, 9 twice. 9 times 9, 81. Boom. There we go. 81. Okay. So again, I just wanted to show you a couple basic ones. So again, to get rid of square root, you square. Whatever you do to one side, do the other. 9 squared means 9 times 9. 9 twice. 9 twice. 9 times 9, 81. Okay. So let's just look at one a little more complicated. Again, instead of just x under there, we got 2x. But guys, I need to, again, I'm trying to solve for x. I'm going to have to get rid of that 2. But guys, you cannot get rid of that 2 when it's inside the radical. So when you have the radical by itself and everything's inside, you have to get rid of the radical first before I get rid of that 2. So the first step is what we did up there. I'm going to take that whole radical and square it, which again just cancels the radical. But again, whatever I do to one side, I got to do the other. So I'm going to do 6 squared. But now, because the radical, see that radical is being squared, goes away, the 2x comes down. See that? The 2x comes down. Okay, now 6 squared, again, 6 times 6. Remember, 6 squared means 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, now I just solved this like a regular equation. I got 2x equals 36. Remember, to get rid of that 2, I just divide away the 2. Divide away the 2. 36 divided by 2. Again, you can use your calculator. I can do this one in my head, but 36 divided by 2 is 18, and boom, there's my answer. Okay, so again, get rid of the radical by squaring. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. 6 squared is 36. Now that 2x inside comes down. Divide away the 2. Divide away the 2. It cancels. 36 divided by 2, 18. Okay, let's just do a couple bigger ones. Well, not that much bigger, but similar ones over on the other side here. So again, this time I've got 5 plus x inside the radical. But again, all the numbers are inside the radical. So again, step 1 is I'm going to take all of that and square it, which cancels the radical. Whatever I do to one side, I do the same to the other. So I'm going to do 3 squared. So the inside now can come out. So x plus 5 is allowed to come out of the radical because I canceled the radical. See? The square canceled the radical. 3 squared. 3 times 3. Remember, 3 squared, 3 times 3, 9. Now, last step, since x is being added by 5, I'm trying to get x by itself, we do the inverse, so minus 5. See that? Okay, so 9 minus 5, boom. Okay, that one's 4. Okay, everybody see that? Okay, now this one's just got more. I've got actually 4x and a minus 8 inside the radical. Okay, so again, just like before, I'm going to square both sides. Okay, again, that square cancels the radical. So what's inside can come out. So 4x minus 8 equals, now 10 squared. Remember, guys, 10 squared. Let me grab my calculator. 10 times 10. Remember, 10 squared is 10 times 10, not 10 times 2. 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. Everybody see that? So 10 squared is 100. Okay, now I'm just going to solve this like an equation. I've got 4 times x, and I've got a minus 8. Remember, get rid of plus or minus first. So we're going to get rid of the minus 8 with a plus 8. Okay, the 8's cross out, so now I still have my 4x. 100 plus 8 is obviously 108. 108. Okay, last step, divide away the 4. Divide away the 4. Okay, so I've got 108 divided by 4. Boom, 27. So 4. Wait, let me double check that. Okay, so 108 divided by 4. Yep, 27. Didn't want to give you the wrong answer, but yep, 108 divided by 4, 27. Boom. That is finished. Okay? So again, the inverse of a radical or square root is a square. Whatever you do to one side, do the same to the other. Once you're outside the radical, solve it like a regular equation. Get rid of plus or minus, get rid of multiply, divide, and you have your answer. Okay? So again, here's a couple problems. Number 1, radical 6x equals 12. Number 2, radical x minus 7 equals 4. Okay, so try those 2. Okay, just post those answers in the journal, and I'll check those for your points. Okay, we're going to do more of this on the next video. Okay, so we're going to do more of this. If you're a little stuck, do the best you can. Enter in answers, and we'll go over it some more next video, okay? See ya. Take care, guys. Bye.